The playoffs are officially here. 18 weeks of the NFL regular season, and we have finally made it to the playoffs. 7 teams remain, and today we are going to be picking every playoff game and crowning a new Super Bowl champion. I'm not going to give my full thoughts in this video on each matchup. If you guys do want those, stay tuned. We will be having wild card previews go up for each and every video. We've had that for the last few years, and that you guys have always absolutely loved those. We did it for the college football playoffs, same deal. We're doing it again for the NFL playoffs. I couldn't be more excited about this. Now, of course, my Colts let me down, so I don't get to root for my team here, but I'm excited about this. I think there is going to be a new Super Bowl champion. Just a bit of a disclaimer here. I don't think the Chiefs are going to three-peat. But we're going to be talking about that. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. Leave a comment. Let me know who you guys think is going to be the Super Bowl champion by the end of this. And be sure to check out my Patreon. That will be linked down in the description below. But guys, let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to go in order of the playoff matchups, which coincidentally enough, it's kind of already in that order. So Houston and LA. Houston's an interesting one. I don't trust their offense. That's what it comes down to. Pass protecting was really poor at times for them this year, particularly on the interior. When you look at this Chargers team, I really like the way their defense has been playing. They've got a top 5 graded defense. I think Justin Herbert is starting to solidify himself as one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. Yeah, I said that. Justin Herbert's been awesome. The weapons are really starting to come on for the Chargers. I like this Chargers team quite a bit. I think defenses are where it's going to come down to, but I think the offensive line for the Chargers can better combat the pass rush of Houston than Houston's offensive line can combat the pass rush of LA. I think the Chargers are going to advance as the first one here. The Ravens and the Steelers, I don't want to spend much time on this one at all. I don't think the Steelers are very good right now. Their offense is stale. They haven't been able to move the ball consistently in quite some time, it feels like. The Ravens are just on fire right now on both sides of the football. And I think that this team is just primed to make a push right now. I've got the Ravens out on top in this one. The Broncos and the Bills. I got to see the Broncos earlier this season. I didn't think they were a playoff team, and yet here we are. They're 10-7, had a remarkable season. Absolutely embarrassed the Chiefs B team, by the way. We'll see if that ends up playing a factor into this at all. That Broncos defense is absolutely remarkable. They have, in my opinion, the best defense in football. I do think this game is going to be really interesting. I like both of these teams. Buffalo, offensively, though, they've got so many playmakers, whether that's Mac Hollins, Curtis Samuel, you've got Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, Josh Allen. I mean, this team can win in about 14 different ways. Defensively, though, I don't love them. I don't think they've got great defense right now, and that could ultimately be their downfall. But I am taking Buffalo to advance here and head to the AFC divisional round. The AFC is over. Heading over to the NFC now, the 2-7 matchup is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers, a rematch of the Brazil game, which was my wedding night when that one happened. Didn't get to watch that, but exciting matchup here. If you guys remember, I picked the Green Bay to win the Super Bowl coming into the year. I like this Packers team still quite a bit, but there are 2 things that I'm worried about. Number one, Christian Watson's out. They don't really have a go-to deep ball weapon right now that I really trust. Number 2, the pass rush hasn't really been consistent for them all year long, whether that be Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness hasn't developed the way you thought he would. That's a bit of a concern, and I just don't know if they've got an elite run defense. The Packers, I like them. I like Jordan Love. He's got to be consistent early in this game if they have any chance. As for Green Bay, as for Philly, excuse me, I like this Eagles team. I think this Eagles team is so much better than the team last year on every single level, whether that be just the running ability, the defense. They've got a really good secondary. The linebacker room has improved so much from last year. This Eagles team is good. I don't know that they are going to go all the way, but I do think they're going to be able to handle business against Green Bay. And I'll take my loss there. I just don't think Green Bay has a good enough team right now, and they're just not healthy enough. Tampa Bay and Washington, another rematch of a week 1 game. I love this matchup, to be honest. I think the storylines are a lot of fun. Jaden Daniels trying to get a big upset win against Tampa. Tampa trying to get a big win, period. This game's going to be a lot of fun. I think you've got Baker Mayfield, who is having a career year, over 40 touchdowns. He has been out of his mind. I absolutely love what he brings to the table. Again, two things I'm watching for on Tampa's team. Can they create pressure on Jaden Daniels? If they can do that, I think they can win this game. Number two, the safety room is completely banged up. Antoine Winfield has missed time. Tyke Smith has been solid, but has missed time as well. You've got Jordan Whitehead. Prayers out to him and his family. They got into a car accident. He went on the injury list. If they can't protect on the back end, we know Jaden Daniels has been able to take these deep shots at times and make big plays. So that's going to be something to watch. As for Washington, is the offensive line going to be able to hold up, and can they create pressure consistently? Those have been two concerns. The secondary I worry about for Washington, and that's why I am going to take Tampa ultimately. I just don't think that Washington has the guys on the back end. But we get to see Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans one more time, which that's going to be a lot of fun to see. The Vikings and the Rams, a rematch of a Thursday night game. The Rams were one of three teams to beat the Vikings this year. If you guys do remember, the very controversial no-call face mask game was between these two teams. Minnesota is really good. I don't think that this matchup against the Lions is really going to deter me in any one way on this team. I really, really like this Vikings team. I think their defense is absolutely remarkable. They can fly around, they can create pressure, they can force turnovers. Their offense has playmakers. I like Sam Darnold. I think he is good enough to get a win. For the Rams, a young offense right now and a young defense, the lights could be too bright for them. I also just don't know that the Rams have an offensive line that's going to be able to stop the pass rush of Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, Jonathan Grenard. I like this Vikings team. I think that they will get a win. We're going to head to the divisional round, which just got a little bit interesting when you see we've got some really good matchups here in the divisional round. We're going to just start off with we'll go in order here. The Ravens and the Bills, a rematch of a Sunday night game that we got earlier this season. What a matchup this would be. I love this matchup. I think both teams really good. It's going to come down to the offenses. Is Zay Flowers going to be healthy by then? We're going to have to find out, because if he's not, I don't think the Baltimore is going to win this game. I like this Buffalo team a ton. I think their ability to run the football, pass the football at a consistent level is going to be the determining factor in this one. Can they create enough pressure up front? That's another concern that I will have. As for Baltimore, there's not a lot of holes on this team, but they have had a suspect secondary from time to time. They've allowed big plays on the back end, and I think that's going to come back to hurt them. I am taking Buffalo. I think Buffalo is going to get the win here, advance to the AFC Championship game, and we'll see where that gets them. Then we got the Chargers and the Chiefs. This is a tough one. It really is, because I watch this Chiefs team week in and week out. They're 15-2. I don't feel like this team is – I'm not going to say they're not ready for the playoffs, but they're missing a piece or two. The offensive line does concern me. The tackles have not been good for the Chiefs this year. They just haven't. The defense has been excellent. There's no doubt about that. Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie. But the gap between play for the offense does concern me. Now, you're going up against the Chargers, a team that you played twice, and actually the Chargers played you really well the first time, or the second time, excuse me. Probably should have won that game. I am not taking the Chargers to win this one. I will be taking the Chiefs, but I do believe that this game is going to be a little bit closer than people think, and the Chiefs are on upset alert in this one. I'll go that far, but we're going to get an absolutely cinematic AFC Championship game, which I feel like it's been headed towards that direction all year round, but I think we get that. Then on the NFC side of things, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. I think this is probably where we're going to have one of the big shockers here. I am going to take Tampa Bay in this one. Tampa Bay just seems to have Philly's number over the last few years. You go back, they beat them in the playoffs last year. They beat them in the regular season this year. They beat them in the playoffs, I believe, 3 years ago as well. This Tampa Bay team, I think, is one of the more underappreciated, undervalued teams right now in football. What Baker Mayfield is doing is absolutely refreshing to see from the quarterback position. The accuracy has been there, but it's the toughness that he plays with. This team has confidence. They've got swagger. I like this. I also think they have a good run defense. Vita Vea, the linebackers come downhill. They crash the run lanes. And I think they can blitz Jalen Hurts, get him off his timing. And that's where he really struggles. When he's under pressure, he makes bad decisions. His pocket presence isn't very good. I really, really like Tampa Bay in this game. I think this is going to be the biggest upset of the playoffs. And I got Tampa Bay headed to the NFC Championship game and a matchup between two teams. They went 1-1. We just saw these two teams play, but it's hard for me to really not pick the Lions in this one. The Lions right now, you look at this team, they were banged up coming into the night, and they still dominated. If this defense can get a stop or two, they're going to win the game. That's just the way it is. Their offense is so dynamic. They score in a variety of ways. I've got Detroit headed to the NFC Championship game for the second consecutive year, and we're going to have an awesome divisional round matchup. We're going to go to the NFC side first because I know more people are more concerned about the AFC. On the NFC side, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions. Tampa Bay did beat Detroit earlier this season. I think Detroit, I believe Aiden Hutchinson said if they got to the NFC Championship game, he was going to try and come back. I don't know if that's going to happen. If it does, definitely changes the whole outlook on this for me. Tampa Bay, I like the way that they've been playing. I think they've got a offense that can push the boundaries here. They can push the ball downfield and make big plays happen. That's the way that they like to play. And this is a secondary that has been depleted at times this year in Detroit. There's no doubt about it. The offense is really good on both sides, but I do have concerns about the pass rush. And if Jared Goff has time to throw the football, the Lions are going to win the football game. I got the Lions advancing to the Super Bowl, and they will be taking on the winner of this game. This is a game that I can't express how much I want this to happen because these are the two best teams in the AFC. This is the matchup we all wanted to see last year. Or I believe we did see it last year, didn't we? Yes, we did. A game where it just didn't really ever seem to go the way of Buffalo, but they were banged up. And I think both of these teams are excellent. I think the Chiefs defense is great. They've got the championship DNA right now, if you will. And I think that is going to play a factor in this game. Coaching definitely matters, but I like this Bills team. I like the way they've been playing. I also think there's something to be said about the hunger. They've gone into Kansas City. They've won before. Yes, it's been in the regular season. I think it ends this year. I think the curse ends. I'm picking Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. I think this Bills team is ready. I think Josh Allen's having the best year of his career. The defense is going to be able to get enough stops, and I think that the offense is going to just make enough plays to win this game, which gives us a matchup of Buffalo versus Detroit in the Super Bowl, a matchup that we got a few weeks ago that was everything we could have wanted from these two teams. And this is the matchup I think I want to see the most. I love both of these squads. I think this would be, from a storyline perspective, would be awesome. Detroit never won a Super Bowl. The Bills never, I don't think they've won a Super Bowl. Yes, they went 4 times, didn't win one. This is a incredible storyline. 2 elite quarterbacks. There's going to be one winner here. This could go one of 2 ways, obviously. This is a tough game to pick. The Lions beat the Bills in the regular season. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to pick Buffalo to win the Super Bowl this year. I think Josh Allen's on a mission right now. He's going after the MVP. He's going after that Super Bowl MVP. I think this is Josh Allen's year. They've got a plethora of weapons. Yes, the defense might be a bit of a concern. They have allowed a lot more points than is ideal. But I think this team is hungry. They're ready. They're well coached. I think that their offense under Joe Brady has completely opened things up. They can run the ball. They can pass the ball. And your Buffalo Bills are my pick to be the 2025 Super Bowl champions. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Who do you guys have winning the Super Bowl? Who comes out on top? What's the outcome going to be? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.